Come on. There we go. Hey everybody, I'm Richard, and I am the GM tonight for Whitehack, Longwinter. This is an in-development adventure module and setting from Luka Rashik. And we are playing it with the Whitehack system. Tonight I've got my usual crew who have been here, and a fantastic new character played by Asher, and they are about to introduce their characters, and then we're going to recap. But tonight we're going to start at the far right side of my screen with Sam playing Casimir.
I'm Sam. I'm playing the Honorable Casimir Kaczmarek, a noble from a military family and notorious fop jock. Having received a mysterious and suspicious telegram, or alarmed letter followed by a suspicious telegram from his childhood friend Victor, he has cajoled / invited his two of his friends and one hanger-on to the beautiful town of Brezim for a combination skiification and murder mystery solving extravaganza.
And after that, the noted hanger-on, who's only getting to know Casimir, Aurelia.
So I am Jesse. I'm playing Aurelia Igner, an antiquarian and field archaeologist who prefers to think of herself as a acquaintance rather than a mere hanger-on. And in any event, she's mostly just here to make sure that Casimir doesn't take too much advantage of his overly protective cousin Vas. She is, aside from her interests in antiquity and the life of the why am I blanking on what they're called? What's the name of the indigenous people of the valley?
Old settlers.
Sorry, yes, and the life and culture of the old settlers. She is she's my train of thought completely disappeared, but she's here for that stuff.
Nice. All right. And someone who was not at all a stranger to either the valley or old settlers culture. Someone who grew up here, Razon Rustin, played by Daryl.
Hi, I'm Daryl. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Razon Rustin, whose pronouns are she, her. Razon fled her hometown in Brezim because her parents were going to marry her off to a much older man, and she just wasn't down for that. So she fled to go to the university, but through a series of unfortunate events, basically got blackballed from academia and fell into the employ of Lady Zobor. And though I am ostensibly here to help my friend Casimir, I'm also here on an errand from Lady Zobor because I operate mainly as her spy. I have a cover as a gossip columnist, and I'm very good at digging up dirt because actually I'm a spy. When we got here, I did put a stop to a certain assassination attempt on my good friend Casimir that was actually perpetrated by my brother. So that was a pretty big deal to have put a stop to that and then have a confrontation with a family member whom I had not seen for 15 years. So it was a pretty big deal. And now we're about to go raid the wolf people.
And next, Bethany playing Vas.
Yeah, so Vas is the illegitimate son of Casimir's black sheep uncle. He likes to think of himself as being along to protect Casimir from his own bullshit, but that's definitely gone both ways. Casimir is the only member of the family who actually acknowledges Vas, and he's definitely used his wealth and privilege to help Vas out. It's more than once, probably. He's a good friend of Aurelia's, and he actually has the ashes of his old friend Nadia that he wants to take to her family here in Brezim, and she's also a friend of Aurelia's. Like, he probably met Aurelia via Nadia, but he actually hasn't told her that he's going to do this.
All right. And finally, our new character tonight, Eva, brought to us by Asher.
Hi, I'm Asher. Pronouns are they, them. And Eva is she, her. She's an old settler salesperson, so she started off in Dimna, like on the whole other side of the barony, and like slowly, like I think she was like a milkmaid and ended up like starting to sell things between the different farms, and then went to different cities and ended up here, probably selling stuff to tourists, right?
What kind of stuff did you sell to tourists? Is it farm stand goods? Is it jewelry? Is it crafts? Some combination?
Yeah, I think it's like farm to table in fantasy.
So you actually may have a part outside of here. You may have your own sort of mechanical mule that you use to kind of haul farm goods.
Yeah, that would make sense.
You're relatively successful, though you are also very skilled in the traditional, the old magical customs of the old settlers. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. What is your? And you studied wards, especially wards you can sort of put into the world, like on clothing or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right. And we'll do a little bit of introduction once they sort of find you. I think the wolf folk have definitely been sort of a dominant player in the story so far, which is a specific sect among, or resistance sect among the old settlers who and their leader Silva. What's been why did the wolf folk decide to sort of capture and essentially imprison you? What did you do to sort of get the wolf folks ire or annoyed at you?
Maybe just like not acknowledging them. Like I would stay in the town and not deal with them at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you didn't really acknowledge that this particular like super strict group had some sort of input over you, or
Right, like they're not part of the barony, right? Why would I deal with them?
right. Okay. All right. And you know that you've been sort of captured. You don't know what's happened to your belongings. There's one large restaurant here in town, which is the restaurant at the hotel, and then there's a handful of small places and kitchens where people entertain. Individual houses that have large kitchens where they entertain lots of people, but are not restaurants per se, or not places that are charging money for food. So you have a decent base of customers here, and you don't know where your belongings have gone, and you don't know specifically why the wolf folk decided to arrest you or bring you in today or tonight. Was it daytime or nighttime when they kind of sprang on you?
I'll say night, because then we can start in the morning, right?
Well, it's night right now, so that I guess it's
Okay.
like in the last hour or so.
Sure.
Or have you been here for more than a day?
We can say that it got me during the day, like I was going from shop to shop and just got kidnapped, kind of.
That's perfect. Okay. Thank you. Let's do a quick recap of what you learned over the last couple of sessions. I think our audience knows that you came to Vreli in the Valley of Brezim to locate a friend of Cosmir's. And got here. What have you learned about what's going on? What caused Victor's disappearance? All that good stuff. And I can call on people, or people can just jump in.
So I think we gathered that Victor was kidnapped in order to lure Casimir here. Maybe
Does that sound
that
about
was
right?
hinted at. I don't know if the person was lying. I don't remember who we. That must have been Electra that told us.
But I think Bashir also confirmed roughly that, if I'm
Okay.
remembering correctly. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyone else? Anything else that was learned last week or the week before that about sort of why about Victor's disappearance?
There was this concern by the wolf cult, whose name is
The wolf folk.
the wolf folk. Thank you. I don't like the word cult here. But the wolf folk who that Winter White, the mountain god, is not being properly appeased. That that when the barons took over the valley, they committed to a regular sacrifice of someone close to them, in order to keep the god appeased and quiet, and asleep. Right, this is not a god that they want waking. And the most recent Baron has not met that commitment. And this was a piece I either never quite got or don't remember, but there was a piece where somehow or another the blood of a Kazmarak, which is Casimir's family name, is necessary specifically. Maybe because of their role in the subjugation of the valley. It wasn't entirely clear to me what that was.
I believe that was that if the barony was not going to appease Winter White, the wolf folk would at least protect themselves from her by killing somebody descended from one of the invaders. And this particular Kazmarak had burners, the invaders on both sides. Does that sound about right? Any other questions? So the wolf folk are hoping that they can come up with a vengeful sacrifice that if Winter White kills everybody else, she will protect them. Or if she freezes everybody else, she will at least spare them if they can find somebody with invader blood to sacrifice. Anything else you learned?
So Victor was working with the kind of chief priestess of the wolf folk, who is Silva Yelnats, and they engaged in some kind of sham marriage to cover Victor's affair with Bashir and to consolidate some kind of control, I guess, over this ruin that's beneath Silva's mansion, which they were excavating together, until Silva unexpectedly backstabbed him and began to use him as a hostage to lure Casimir here. In lieu of find more answers down below. Curse this sudden but inevitable betrayal.
And there was an especially blatant clue that they had led you here about the timing of Victor's disappearance. Was there not?
Oh yes, the telegram saying that Victor disappeared was like a day before Victor actually disappeared. They wanted to get the timing right.
Right. Anything else people want to add? Questions you want to ask? Okay. When last we left our heroes, Vas, they had found their way to Silva Ilmatz's townhome manor, something bigger than a townhome, but not quite mansion size. A 2-story place built into the side of a hill, and climbed up onto an outcropping and climbed into a bedroom window on the 2nd floor. Vas went into the hallway to look down the staircase to see who was there, heard some voices coming from downstairs. And as Vas got to the top of the staircase, his foot hit the wrong floorboard, and it let out a slow, long moan. Eva, I'm going to bring you in a second, but that slow, long moan on that board is the first time you've heard anybody upstairs since you got captured this afternoon, or or since you got kidnapped this afternoon by people you weren't exactly sure who they were. You didn't get a good look at them, but they certainly brought you in and brought you here very quickly. They came up the noisy stairs, clomping the whole way, put you blindfolded into this room, and just as noisily went back downstairs. You've not heard anybody come upstairs, but you certainly heard the noisy board at the top of the stairs let out a moan.
I guess I'll call out. Is someone there?
So, Vas, you hear a muffled voice ask if someone there through the door, sort of right across from you, opposite the door where you came out.
Uh-huh.
You also hear people whispering downstairs, like, she hasn't gotten out of there, has she? Well, go up and look. And you hear somebody start to climb the stairs.
Is there anything to hide behind?
Let's check. Pull up roll for your party myself. You could shuffle back into the room you're in, or you could try to go into the room that she's in, where that voice came from. The room that Eva's voice is coming from is a little bit closer to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you might make more noise if you try to shuffle backwards. However, that door may be locked, latch, or stuck. So,
Right.
your friends are kind of barely holding that door open so that you can slip in. Which way do you go?
So like out of character, it'd be way smarter to go to the one that Eva's in, but I don't know that. I have no idea who just whispered at me, and whether they're friend or foe. So I'm gonna go back to where my friends are.
Okay. Make a dexterity check.
Sure. 5. What's my dexterity?
And you're an avenging angel. This is the kind of action thing you're good at. So you make that an advantage.
I succeeded even without.
Even with that advantage, you succeeded. Awesome. Yeah, you're able to sort of like clomp, tiptoe without making too much noise. Get in your leather-soled shoes back to the. Everybody has leather-soled shoes right now. Back into the door of that bedroom and sort of bring it to quietly.
Like whisper to the others, they're coming, they're coming.
And Eva, you hear the clump up the stairs, and then you hear the turning of the key in the lock. And actually, in that other bedroom, you can all hear this too. You hear the turning of the key in the lock, and the door swings open. And Eva, there's a tall, gruff man you think you recognize from having nabbed you. They blindfolded you pretty quickly. And he sort of scans around the room, looks at you, and just very gruffly says, "Be more quiet." And swings the door back to. You hear the lock turn.
I think while this is going on, Casimir is going to take some action and encourage Voss to do the same, at least. Which is to say, now we've got one of them separated out. He's going to go back down, and then he'll just be the same amount of trouble he was before. So while he's distracted with whoever is in this room, I think we should try and sneak up on him, see if we can deal with him quietly.
So what's your plan? What's the strategy you've got?
Well, we can slip out there and have a gun pointed at him, and either one of three things will happen. One, we'll catch him unawares, and we'll be able to grab him. 2, he'll notice us. He'll see he has 2 guns pointing at him and shut up. Or 3, he'll notice us, see he has 2 guns pointed at us, and get shot. In which case, we're one down.
And what's the first option? Catch him unawares. How would that work?
If he really doesn't, if we're quiet enough and he doesn't notice us until we're on him, then we'll just grab him in this room.
Okay. All right. So you look out and see him. You look out and see him sort of open the door. I think you can see somebody a little bit past him. You can't make out much detail. You can hear him speak gruffly to whoever's in the room, and then start to swing the door back to. And you're pulling your guns. Let's start. Whichever you is better at dexterity, make a dexterity check at advantage.
We only have like 10 feet to cross, right? Or
Yeah.
like that. I think. Oh, that's
a matter of just sort of getting
that's actually me. I'm better at dexterity, substantially. Okay, at advantage.
Yeah.
1 moment. I succeed on 1, and I succeed pretty well. I rolled an 8 under my 14.
All right. Did you succeed on both?
No, only on 1.
Okay. Do you prefer to be super quiet, or you prefer for him to be super surprised?
I think I prefer for him to be super surprised.
Okay. You may not be perfectly comfortable with the level of noise made, but there's not any big, loud squeaking boards. When you and Voss get your guns right there at the back of his head, and he's so oblivious, he kind of bumps into him with his like forehead when he turns around.
Casimir will finish closing the door with the other hand and closing us in the room with him.
Oh, nice. Okay. So it'll be you, Eva, and Voss in that one room?
Yeah, and this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He steps backward, casually, or super pretending to be casual. So, Eva, he came in, glared at you, and then all of a sudden, two people behind him, clearly baronials, or clearly of the same stock as the baronials, came up behind him with guns, kind of forcing him back into the room, where he seems rather frightened, like he's trying to stay very, very quiet, because clearly that's what they want. And then one of them closes the door, so you are in the room with this guy who kidnapped you, and these two baronials with guns. So let's think on that for a moment, the four of you, how that's going. Aurelia and Razan, what are you up to?
So I think
people going around and walking out of rooms with guns and.
Right, like so, I am cold and nervous and a little bit ailing, and this is maybe very. And I sort of like I think like as I hear the door shut across the hall, and I don't know that it's not. My guests tell me, Voss and Casimir, if this is right, but you didn't really like verbally communicate what you were doing, right? This was like hand motions and eye contact and whatever secret language the two of you have for roughing people up.
Yeah,
is that a good call?
It was not safe to say anything out loud. Definitely.
It was a split-second decision.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that like I have no real idea what just happened or how, and so I think whatever boldness I had in breaking into this place has kind of like dissipated a little bit, and I'm like clutching that blanket that I was handed around me as I say to Razan, where could they have gone? What was this? Maybe this wasn't a good idea.
Darling, we broke into a house. That's never a good idea.
You know, I thought this would maybe be a little bit more interesting, but it's just cold and dark, and there's absolutely, I look around the room, nothing that was made more than 15 years ago in this room.
I just smile and I say, you truly are a socialite, aren't you? And then I kind of like come over and I slip you like a flask from the provisions and like say, take a sip of this, it will warm you.
I definitely take a long sip.
Brandy or whiskey?
Probably whiskey.
Let's nail the important details. Booze.
That's what's in my glass right now.
Aurelia, you get to nip a flask. Razan, you have certainly broken into houses before as part of the secret police.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's, you know, I don't know, were you ever officially part of the secret police, or did the Zobors just get you sort of access to the secret police?
So actually, the connection came from my previous relationship with my professor, Narina
Right.
Baselier. And I'm not actually officially with the secret police. I'm leveraging information of their codes and their procedures to act like I am. But this is definitely not the first time I've broken into a house to obtain secrets.
Right.
So it's more like probably like I am used to like breaking and entering, but like as a thief, not as a like setting off on a rescue mission. So I'm a little nervous too because there's not a clear way out. The only thing I've got is a flashbang with a demon in it.
If you aren't careful with that demon could get loose.
I mean, I'm very careful with it. Right around on a chain around my neck.
I thought it would desert you, but there's no telling what it would get up to. All right. Is there anything the two of you would like to do while you're waiting for word of what's going on across the hall?
I think as I take just like a quick parting thought, but like as I take that nip from the flask and pass it back to Brezim, like a little bit more of my courage and curiosity comes back to me, and I say, whatever they're doing, I hope they finish it soon. We're wasting far too much time up here when what's really interesting is downstairs.
Well, that's exactly what I was hoping. You see, I'm hoping that little sip might have loosened up some of your precognitive abilities. So why don't you maybe tell us if there's someone downstairs that we should be worried about?
I laugh and I say, yeah, so about that, I'm afraid I've done all the divining I can for the foreseeable future, but I can maybe do something to do. We have no idea who's down. Like we know we heard. Did we in the room hear any of the movement downstairs, or do we just know about that one guy who came upstairs and he was talking? Like what information do we have?
You and Voss, I mean, everyone heard the sounds from downstairs, which is you knew why Voss went outside to check to begin with. You knew there were some people downstairs that was hard to figure out, how many.
So I think I say, but I can maybe distract those fellows down, whoever it is downstairs, and pull them away for a little while. Get us a clear. But Voss and Casimir, do we just leave them?
Over to Voss and Casimir and Eva, staring down your own guns towards this gentleman you assume is a member of the wolf folk. He has his hands up and he's kind of shaking.
We have some rope, right? We do. At least I do.
There's probably some rope around me you could use.
Yeah, that's true.
You actually were just sort of locked into your room, Eva. This is a small bedroom. You were just sort of locked in.
I think I make like a motion toward Eva.
I guess I think I'll just take the rope out of my belt and hand it to Voss and like gesture to tie this guy up.
Yeah. Okay. I can do that.
And gag him if we can. Probably only have a little bit of time before the next person comes to look for them, but if it's only one or only two, then that could still be a problem for them.
Yeah. Do you ask him anything?
Yeah, although I think the first order of business is actually to ask this strange person, who are you?
I think that's directed at you, Eva. And you're on
Me?
mute. Yeah.
All right. I was just selling things in town and got kidnapped. Do you know why I'm here?
Lucky for you, we happen to be here.
Probably some sort of human sacrifice, I'm sorry to say.
Sounds like it was my lucky day then. Since you came to save me.
Casimir gives you his best, like, dashing glance. Dashing look. You're welcome to stay here or leave out the window. That's where we came. Just try to be quiet.
All right, I'll try to quietly climb out the window.
I'll like kind of motion you to like show you where we came in through the other room, the window in the other room.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know from experience that the window in your room has pretty of a sheer drop to the
Out of
ground.
that room.
It's actually the ground on that side, being on a hill, is lower than the ground at the front door. So it's about a 20-foot drop out of there.
And we locked my captor in the room. And then I got out.
It is. I don't think you've made that call.
Basically, I'm trying to like get you in the same room as our other two people.
Okay, yeah, I want to
Like,
get
they
out of
can ask
here.
questions, to kind of, so that we only have to concentrate on one person at a time.
Okay,
I'll
You may have questions as well, Eva.
I have a lot of questions. Yeah, now that I learned I'm going to be a human sacrifice.
I'm going to ask this prisoner how many others there are down here.
Good question.
Do I know? I think I was.
I meant I was asking the guy that we had tied up, not
okay.
not you. But if you know, you're welcome to weigh in.
I don't think you know. He looks tense as soon as you ask the question. Why don't you go ahead and make a charisma check?
I will. That is a 1.
Kind of sneers at you and is just like, well, how many do you have with you? I bet we have more.
So he's actually gagged. What I think I'm doing is I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all right, like how many are there? Like 10? Nod? Like more than 10? Less than 10? And like so trying to do it that way.
I think what gives it away for him is that when you get to 7,
Mm-hmm.
his eyes go wide.
Yeah. All right.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Well, let's I guess we next we sit tight for probably 2 of them to come up and see why you haven't come back. That sound right? I smile at him.
Hope it's not 6.
He gets agitated and he's trying to like clearly pry at the ropes. I take it, Vash, you tied his feet to where his feet are not on the ground.
There's a bed in the room, I think.
Yeah, that makes good sense.
Okay, yeah. So I like make him lay down on the bed and like roll him up in the blanket so that he can't like make a lot of noise. So he's muffled. All of his movements are.
Now be good or we'll toss you out into the snowdrift.
Yep.
He starts to wiggle like he's trying to get the bed to rock, but otherwise just kind of looks at you helplessly.
I like prod him with the gun to remind him that we do still have guns.
Eva, do you have any questions for him or for the people who rescued you? You're still in the room?
I kind of just want to ask, how does it feel? I don't feel like that's super
I mean,
productive.
if you want to punch him, you can.
All right. I think I have like a dagger in my boot. That's like my concealed weapon. So I'll just kick him with that.
Just gonna like take the hilt and just sort of punch him, or are you just gonna stab him, or?
Yeah, I think I'm like stabbing him in the leg. So hard for him to get out of here.
Yeah, he starts muffling and sort of whimpering.
Like that's maybe a little further than.
I think I might actually X-card that, just because the tone of this game has been very much like kind of like the Tintin comics in terms of kind of what we do to people, and we really haven't been causing intense bodily harm to helpless people.
Okay.
I don't know how other people feel about that.
The X card is the X card, so let's go with let's
fair enough. So I guess let's just say like try another way.
All right.
You can certainly knock him out hilt wise, or whisper something to him. Anything like that would work. So
he's tied up, right? So maybe just
he's tied up. He's tied up pretty helplessly. He's sort of wrapped in blankets, and the ropes are over the blankets. So he's kind of tensely swaddled and gagged.
I think I'll just like get in close and like look him in the eyes, right, to see how how does it feel? But it's just like seeing.
He looked pretty defiant when you said that, and then when you loomed in, he looked kind of terrified. And I don't think he's doing it voluntarily or consciously, but he's certainly sort of exposing the side of his neck as he tries to like turn his head desperately to look away from you.
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
Is there some mark on him that I see?
No, not bound up like this.
Okay.
I think you have seen sort of the amulet they wear that identifies them as wolf folk. Just something you thought was just a legend. Do you have any questions for the people who rescued you?
Yeah, probably. Like, what are you doing here? Why did you rescue me? If you didn't even know what was going on here.
We came to rescue someone else. You're just you're a bonus. You can here. I'll show you where we came in, and you can head out if you want. It's gotten really cold out. I don't know if that's a smart idea, but it's your choice.
Apparently, there are 6 other people that need rescuing too, so I want to help get everyone out.
I think even the 6 other people we're here to guard.
Okay.
We think there's at least one other person who needs rescuing, though.
Yeah, so I want to rescue everybody I can.
All right. Yeah, I can always use more help. And I see you're already armed. How did you get a hold of that?
Well, I've learned to be discreet about these sort of things.
I guess. They're not the smartest kidnappers ever, apparently, or at least this one isn't.
Didn't seem like they intended to kidnap me for long.
Yeah, maybe not. We're not completely clear on what they intended to do, but it probably wasn't. It's probably best not to think about it.
Yeah, we could ask, but
That's true.
I don't think I want to.
We'd have to ungag the guy though, and he'd probably scream for his friends.
So I think you've got What was that last thing you were saying, Aurelia? I'm sorry. I meant to jot a note of that.
I was going to suggest, I have no idea that there are 7 guards downstairs. I was going to suggest that I could perhaps distract them briefly if the 2 of us want to sneak by, but do we really want to leave Voss and Casimir behind?
I mean, that would involve going right by where Voss and Casimir are now.
That's true. We could try to get their
I
attention.
mean, there's one staircase, and both of you are pretty much in view of it now that your doors are open.
So what I would like to do, and we can decide, Brezim and I can decide whether this is something we want. Like I want to have that conversation with her. But the idea is to I don't know whether I can actually. The cost may be too high from here, but to blow the front door, like cause a large wind that might blow the front door off its hinges, given the fact that it is quite cold and beginning to snow outside. That I feel like there's like a little bit of a little bit of natural storminess to work with.
Okay, to kind of blow the front door open.
Not just open, but like off, like
Off,
real,
okay.
like real force. I'm upstairs. I don't know that I necessarily have that kind of precise control, but the kind of thing that might like get them running out there to see what's going on.
You can try to take some time to do that from upstairs, though it will be significantly less precise. And potentially wilder.
I'm okay with wilder. I think wilder might be more interesting.
What would you use in order to avoid taking a hit point cost?
So I have this. I have this tin whistle, and I think, and in order to sort of like focus the storm energies, I play that, and I wonder if, like, when I'm trying to exert this much like focus and control, like that gets consumed, and if that's not a large enough cost, because really its purpose is to be used for this. I'll try to think of what else I have. I may ask, and we can have again. I kind of want to have the conversation, Brezim. But Brezim, in order to pull this off, I may need to draw a little bit on your energy, because you can see I've been weakened.
I say, what does that take? A little blood? And I pull out my penknife.
A little bit of blood and a little bit of breath.
Well, I suppose if you can clear the path, then it might be worth it.
So I guess we're going ahead. And I take out my tin whistle and I gesture to you to drip some of your blood on the whistle, and then like just inhale and exhale a couple of times. Cover the aperture that will cause it to play. I'm going to have to actually play it, but might as well not have you make that noise when you're breathing through it. And then I sit down and I focus, and as softly as I can, I start to play a tune of Wildstorm. And the tempo is very, very fast and kind of staccato, but then it has these like breathy moments where there's like a pause, and then it rages again. And I don't know how much time I need for this to take to make this happen.
going to say you have 5 minutes
Mm-hmm.
or 10 minutes while they're sort of in the midst of that interrogation
Mm-hmm.
before you need to get loud enough.
Mm-hmm.
That'll count for 1 of 3 hit points this will take.
Is that for me or Raison? Just out of
That
curiosity.
will, you can transfer it to Raison since she is
Mhm.
willing.
Mm-hmm.
But you will need to make a saving throw to control the magic. Remember that
Mm-hmm.
you treat your saving throw as 4 higher when trying to control magic.
Wonderful.
If you lose control of the magic, it's still going to happen, but it will be chaos.
I'm maybe a little kind of hoping that happens. But let's let the dice decide.
Well, let's get the other room to where they hear Aurelia's freakishly low tin whistle. It's got sounds like a tin whistle, but it's got a reverberation in it that is disturbing. I think you don't even need to roll anything, Eva. You recognize immediately that there is something magical afoot, not very far away, and potentially dangerous. Casimir and Voss, you recognize it as Aurelia's tin whistle, though you don't know what she's up to. And if somebody downstairs hears, that could be bad.
Oh,
And then Aurelia, make that saving throw.
I think, by the way, I think when he hears the tin whistle, Casimir gives Boss like a what the fuck look, and then assumes that people are about to bust in.
to say we are waiting for more people to show up.
Yeah, so we'll like get
Right.
in ambush positions.
You see them get into ambush positions, Eva. Are you going to try to get somewhere where you can spring out, or are you try to get somewhere that you more can defend yourself or hide?
Yeah, I think I'm more interested in defending myself right now.
Okay,
I
so
was just captured.
maybe like behind the door, or I mean, the guy is on the bed, so the bed may not feel completely safe.
Maybe there's like a dresser or something.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Maybe there's like a dresser I can hide
yeah.
behind.
You can just like scrouch down beside the dresser with your
Mhm.
knife out. Yeah, that's not within clear line of sight of the door, though. If the guy on the bed is somehow able to get loose and point, he would be able to see you. But he's not right next to you.
Sounds
So
good.
make that saving throw.
Yeah, that was a 17 when I needed an 11 or lower.
Wow. Okay. Rizan, make a Constitution check really quickly. You're just trying to get 12 or less on the die.
That's a 10.
A 10. You feel yourself like the breath in your lungs gets very cold, and just as the where you cut yourself and bled out a little bit starts to burn, almost like it's on fire, or as if you dipped the cut into rubbing alcohol. Except the burn is not going away the way rubbing alcohol might. It stings, and you can feel the heat sort of coming off the wound. You only take 2 hit points of damage, but it hurts disproportionately as you're able to force your mouth together to stop from screaming. And then I think everybody hears the piercing, like until now, the whistle has been low, the volume. Everybody hears the loud, piercing, discordant note. You hear the people downstairs say, "What the hell was that?" And then right by the window by the bed in Eva's room that was looking down on that 30-foot drop off the side of the hill, and the window with the rocky outcropping outside of it in the room where Razan and Aurelia are, both those windows crash in. Loudly. And then there's another loud smash from downstairs as the entire house just sort of fills with cold wind.
Well, shit, that didn't quite go the way I wanted it to. I wonder what I could possibly have done wrong. Ooh. Wheels turning.
Like everybody to just make their saving throw. Asher, you'll just treat it like a trait, but instead you're trying to roll equal to or under your saving throw.
Sorry, it's a saving throw or a con check?
Saving throw.
Got it.
I failed just as I have failed every saving throw.
Yeah, I rolled a 19, so no way I got that.
Yep, 17. Another 17 on a saving throw.
Nice.
And it's not. It was on the other die I have out, so it wasn't even like it just stayed there.
I succeeded with a 9.
With a 9? Was that right at your saving throw? Or
My saving throw is a 10.
okay. Razan, how did that go for you?
I also failed.
I'm so sorry. If you failed, you are now flat on either your back or your front, kind of depending on where you were standing. Let me make some quick. You hear some yells from downstairs, and you hear more crashing from downstairs. And you hear one person slowly climbing the stairs. And all of a sudden, it's like wind is coming from every direction in the house. It's coming up the stairs. It's creaking through the cracks that separate the second floor from the attic. It's coming from the floorboards. It's coming from the blown open windows. It's coming up. It's coming under the door. And it's coming from the unopened doors on the second floor. And it's becoming very, very difficult to remain standing. Casimir, you're able to sort of brace yourself against a wall. But you see Voss go down, and you're not sure whether the snow got there first or Voss got there first. But it looks like snow is blowing on the wind. Like almost fresh snow is just being blown heavily on the wind. You can see it starting to accumulate on the floorboards around the corners. And you hear somebody coming up the stairs, struggling to keep standing, much as you are. What do you do? Everybody else is down.
So I'm going to try and get in a position that will be like a little hard for the person who's just coming up the stairs to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sort of crouched to try and minimize how much wind I'm taking. And then when this guy gets up to the top of the stairs, I'm going to try and go with the wind and sweep the leg, try and like get him on the ground.
Let's do this as an auction. I'll explain auctions in a second for folks at home. And I am in a different die room right this moment, and I'm not looking at yours, so roll that d6.
Okay.
And I won't look.
All right.
That adds to your dexterity score for this test. And then we bid. And I'll go ahead and grab that bid first. And I will bid. I will bid. $4. The downside to going first is if you fail the check, the other person automatically wins. And that is the slim advantage to going second. So if you are not so certain, you may want to go last and let them fail instead of you.
Okay, but I am pretty certain, so I'm going to bid 6.
Okay.
I rolled a 5, and my dex is.
I rolled a 4. Their base stat is 12, so
they're up to 16.
They're up to 16.
I'm up to 19.
Up to 19. Why don't you roll that d20 and see how you do?
I just had interest as this like maybe like do you get advantage during auctions or no?
I'm going to say that most of the sources of disadvantage going on would cancel out most of the sources of advantage.
Fair enough. Well, I rolled a 20. Them's the breaks.
You rolled a 20?
Them's the breaks.
That's
why we rolled the dice.
Yeah, this guy lunges at you and knocks you down and starts to pull a gun around to sort of bring it to bear on you as your gun goes sprawling out of your hand.
Let me see if I can use my stupid power on him.
Oh yeah, you can't say no during an auction.
How does it work though?
How does what work?
Saying no during the auction, does it mean I win the auction, or
Yeah,
what does it mean?
You just say no. You win.
Or
you could. You got a 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't use your dice to. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can't use no to say no to a 20.
Fascinating. Okay. Well, at least I get another one of my dice, which I will figure out how to use.
Yeah, you have comeback dice. You can use comeback dice on any roll to raise your effective stat for that roll, or you can add it to damage at any point either too.
Sorry, I accidentally deleted your.
And there's definitely the gods.
Okay. Actually, from the way it reads, actually looks like I can't use this during auctions.
It doesn't? Okay.
Yeah, it's for attacks, fear effects, or miraculous effect. Anyway, all right. So this guy gets me down on the ground. And he knocks my gun away and starts wailing on me.
Yeah. He's about to bring it around. I think this is when other people, including Vas and Eva, would have a chance to see what's going on. But if you're not able to interrupt this, we're going to actually let's do that roll for initiative thing as Casimir goes down and the guy brings his gun to bear.
How do we roll for initiative?
We'll just roll a d20, checking your own. Actually, yeah, let's do this. Casimir, roll a d6. And I will roll a d6, and we'll just do side initiatives. And you're going to have a very easy time with this, Casimir.
I rolled 3.
Yeah, you got a 1.
Great.
Since you just got knocked down, though, I will check with Eva and Vas, who are right there, and then check with Brezim and Aurelia, who are not too far away, and then I'll check with you. So what's going on with you folks? Vas and Eva, you can now see the guy came up. You saw Casimir go for him, and then you saw Casimir get badly knocked down.
I'm already on the ground, so I'm just going to grab his ankles.
Grab his ankles and pull him off?
Yep.
Just to to unfocus his gun?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Make a strength check.
3.
Nice. Yeah, you pull him back, and he kind of has not aimed with his gun. He was sort of aiming and bringing the gun to bear, trying to make sure he got it. And now he's kind of on his back with the gun up in his air, and the gun actually goes off just wildly into the ceiling. You think it went wildly into the ceiling. It may have gotten swept away in the wind and the snow, which seems to be sort of, it's that, since it's all coming inside, it's having that sort of like I'm between skyscrapers feeling where you can't tell where the wind's coming from because it's coming from everywhere all at once. If you've ever been in a downtown area during a bad windstorm. Eva.
All right. So our prisoner's still there, right? That's my first concern.
Your prisoner is still there.
Okay. So then I think I'll go over to Razan and make sure she's okay.
Yeah, your prisoner is still there. He's kind of freaking out. You're going over to Razan?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, who's like gritting her teeth. And you also, probably someone you've recognized. How did you two know each other back in Paydemni?
Well,
I delivered her milk.
I think that we were probably like, are we about the same? How old is Eva?
You'd be about the same age, Eva maybe a bit younger than you or a little bit older. Everybody's kind of roughly in their early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And Rezan has been gone for 15 years.
I think it was maybe because it sounded like you didn't buy into as much of the old settler lore as the rest of them did, and I didn't either. So maybe we bonded about having bigger dreams than our provincial lives.
Yeah, but I think I focused a lot on this witchy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you were more rational, I guess.
I think that'd be a thing. So, but I think the big thing would be like, I never told you I was going to run away, and so just like I disappeared one day, and you never knew what happened to me.
And what about this strange woman who is the thing that makes you recognize that this is Razan, someone you know? Like, is it a look in her eye? Is it the sound of her voice as she fell?
That's a good question. Yeah, it's probably the sound of her voice.
Okay.
That it's a little different because I hadn't heard it in so long, but it has like a certain resonance and timbre that I recognize.
So you're sort of like going over towards her. And what do you plan to do once you get there?
I wanted to ward her clothing. Try to keep these wolf folk away.
So I think that's going to be a 2 hit point thing where you sort of give her protection.
Okay.
And we'll do it this way.
I'm not going to lose you again.
Yeah, roll. No, you're not going to need to roll. You're going to give those 2 hit points, and I want one of the two of you to roll a d6 and add 1.
I can do that. I rolled a 1. So 2.
Rizan, you can write down you have an armor of 2, and I'll tell you how that works in a moment. And what do you do to ward someone's clothing this quickly when you have to use your own sort of like energy, blood, life force to do it? What does it look like?
I think it's like a certain type of like chalk or pastel that I just write on and do like sigils on the clothing.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I don't expect it to last very long, but
Right.
so this is something I just have with me prepared in case.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to take that 2 hit points of damage yourself just to channel your life force into your energy. And I think it's interesting if you warded the reason that you've been able to have so much stuff with you that they would have normally taken from a kidnap victim is you sort of warded your clothing against being searched.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You're not sure how long that will last either, but maybe it's something you did in the morning. Rizan and Aurelia, what are you doing? Rizan, a very old friend, sort of lunged across the hallway and drew something on your clothes.
Well, considering I ran into my brother earlier today, I guess it's just like a big old reunion. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I think I
made them to
like,
get together.
I like reach up and like put my hand on Eva's shoulder and I say, "Well, there's a familiar face that I'm actually happy to see."
What do you do? Like the guy is still sort of splayed onto the ground with a gun in his hand. He just misfired, but the whole place is filled with wind. Rizan, are you just taking cover, or are you kind of...
No, I see the trouble that Casimir's in, and I can't just leave him. So I kind of like, I pull out my revolver and I kind of like crawl across the floor trying to get there and save him.
Okay. You can get to him. You can fire if you want, or you can try to scare the person who is down.
I think I like press the barrel of the gun up against the back of his head and I scream over the window, so like, "Let him go!" Like I'm trying to intimidate him. So.
Yeah. Why don't you make a charisma check? Let's see. Yeah, make a charisma check.
Just the one dice?
Just the one die, I think.
Well, it's a 15 on my 14, so I go.
Yeah, he just screams never as he turns to try to like get Casimir back in where he can see him again. Aurelia, you can try to end this.
Right, I've been trying to think about what I can do to end this. I think I was like, my attention was like distracted. It's a pretty good idea, Voss. But I think because I was sitting down and then the wind blew me down, so I was lying down. Right, I was prone, and I think as just describing the scene for a second, I think as Eva lunged in and did that thing to I like that like drew my attention immediately. I'm like, ooh, but like then there's just all of this action happening so quickly, and I think I do what I think I decide I need to. I don't really decide, right? This is an act that is so completely foreign in many ways to Aurelia's experience, but she just is like, she sort of sees that her companion is threatened, and pulls that little like travel shovel that she keeps with her from where it hangs on her belt, and just like rushes over and decks him across the head with it.
Make a Huh. Make a roll against your attack value. You say you're going to try to get an 11 or less.
Oh, lovely. I've had lots of success with dice tonight.
It's a little better than the
19.
19. Yeah, you swing it right like an inch past his head.
Violence does not work for me. This was a mistake. She's thinking as my arm like whiffs past his ear.
All right. And I think that's everybody except for Casimir. Casimir, you've been knocked back. And then he was knocked off of you, and now he's trying to get back into position again to shoot you. What do you do?
I thought his gun went flying.
Your gun went flying.
Oh, my gun went flying.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna wrestle him for the gun, I guess.
Yeah. That's awesome.
As you do.
Let's do that with strength.
Oh, whoops.
And then if your strength
I'm very good at that. We'll find out. And, actually, shouldn't this be an auction too?
let's do this as an auction.
Auction it again. All right.
Yeah.
Are you out of our roll for the party?
I am out of roll for the party.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna say 5.
Ooh. So if he goes first and he succeeds, he wins, right?
Yeah.
So I have to decide whether I think I'm more likely to win or whether I think he's more likely to win. You seem confident, therefore, if I want a chance to win, I have to go first, even if my skill isn't that great.
I will
So
tell you. Let's frame this, Sam. I'm a terrible gambler.
Well, I'm gonna bid 6.
Okay. Make your strength check. What'd you get? What is your effective strength right now?
15.
15. Okay.
14.
Nice. Yeah. You've got the gun.
All right. Well, he's already got one gun pointed at him, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a Rezan on top of him.
Yeah, Razan's got the one with a gun. He's got a shovel pointed at him as well.
And I have hold of his legs.
You have hold of his legs. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna like holster this gun and just say like, well, that didn't go how I expected it, but this is over.
Remember that you are maybe every other word is getting out right now.
All right, never mind. I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna try and help these guys like truss him up or something, since we're like all over this guy.
All right. Let's do one more auction as he tries to break and sort of send himself flying down the stairs. And I will let Rezan roll for your side. Rezan, it's going to be your dexterity versus his dexterity to either shoot or clock him before he can sort of send himself flying down the stairs. Does that sound about right? You'll roll a d6.
Would Rezan get advantage in this time because there are 3 of us on this guy?
Yeah, I think that's roughly fair.
This is against Dex.
This is against Dex, but first you're going to roll a d6, and that will be added to your effective dexterity.
Okay, so that's a 3. So that makes
my... Right, you don't roll it again because don't tell me what you roll.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I don't say what I rolled.
Yeah.
Then I add that to my dexterity.
Yep. I'll let you be the first to bid. You want to bid high if you're pretty sure you'll make this roll. And you want to bid low if you think it's going to be a tough roll to succeed at.
I'm gonna say, and this is on a scale of 1 to 20.
Yeah, well, it's just knowing what you're going to make a normal dexterity roll at advantage.
But my gamble is
You're bidding from 1 to 6, and
Yeah,
you really want to
yeah.
bid either
Okay.
1 or 6, because either you want to choose to go second or you want to choose to go first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 4.
Okay. I'm gonna go 1. So you go first. If you succeed, you have either clocked him or shot him. You're up to you. If you fail, then he gets down the stairs.
Well, I failed, so I went over on both.
Okay. All right. You have a. He sort of like tumbles towards the stairs, and then just sort of goes down them before you can react. You can hear him flopping, you think, but it may be a noise from somewhere else, but it sounds sort of resonant enough. I'd like everybody to make a saving throw. Rezan, you'll add, if you came in from outside just now, you'll add 2. Rezan, you'll add an extra 2. And Eva, you'll just make a straight saving throw. If you are wise, you can add your +4 for magic.
Sorry, what does +2 mean? +2 means a +2 to the.
Yeah, you treat your saving throw as 2 higher.
Okay.
Your saving throw value is 2 higher.
Ironically, that makes my roll slightly worse.
Really?
Yeah, because I got exactly 10.
Oh.
I actually succeeded on a saving throw.
Well,
I got
congratulations.
exactly 6.
13.
I succeeded also.
I failed again. With
Hmm.
wait, did I? Hold on. Sorry,
Actually,
a lot of
I
math.
apologize. You were the one who doesn't have to make this saving throw.
Who does not?
I never punish the magic user for a spell failure, an out of control spell. Everybody else gets punished. So
Lovely.
you don't have to. This is your storm. It's not trying to freeze you. How did you do, Eva?
I succeeded.
Awesome. So nobody takes that damage from the cold that is now starting to set in. You may want to throw on your coat, which you probably took off while you were in the heated room there, Eva, I imagine, because it is getting very cold inside. Where are you 5 headed? And I will periodically just have you make that saving throw for cold until the storm surging in through the house is brought under control.
Didn't Bashir tell us that there was the basement leads into the tunnels or whatever?
Yes, that the archaeological dig was through the basement of this house.
That's what we're.
Or the
I think.
antiquarian dig. I don't think Aurelia would call this a proper archaeological dig.
Well, we have to go downstairs sooner or later then.
Well, hopefully they're colder than we are. That was the intention, even if it didn't quite go the way I planned.
Well, they've been indoors, so they're probably not dressed for the cold, at least. Or weren't they? Might be now. Yeah, we should go before they. I don't know. Actually, do we want to stay up here and ambush them if more come up, or do we want to just?
So from an out of character perspective, we have an hour left in this session, so I think we should go
All right.
go aggressive.
All the interesting things are down in the basement, and we are up here on the second floor. That's an in character perspective.
Yeah, in character, I think I'm kind of impatient with this strategy. It's like, let's just go down to the basement. That's where we need to be.
If they're half as distracted as we are by this blizzard, they should be easy marks.
It did take all 5 of us to take out one of them.
That is true.
Are you trying to kill them? Is that the goal, or what are you trying to do here?
We're just
Ideally,
trying to-
just
We're trying to get
get
past them.
past
It's fine.
them.
We're on a rescue mission, believe it or not.
Well, you rescued me.
Arguably a better prize, but I'm not Casimir, so. Well, thus, Casimir, I think that you, being so big and strong, might lead the way.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Casimir, you're in front.
He would be in front. Really, Voss should be in front, but Casimir will phrase.
Right, yeah.
Gonna run ahead.
Casimir, Voss, are you second or are you back?
I think I'm in the back, yeah.
Okay. I will count everybody else as sort of nebulously in the middle, even though if I need to get you in a single line, I'll ask you then. I just like to know who's in front and who's in back. Going downstairs and getting to the basement door, you find that the downstairs is deserted. Though you see signs of inhabitation. Aurelia, make a saving throw, treating your saving throw as 11.
Oh, sorry, I'm pushing all the wrong buttons. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. 12.
Oh no.
I have not succeeded yet tonight. The best kind of session.
You open the basement door, the one that goes from the kitchen under the stairs down into the basement, and the wind catches it and knocks it out of your hand, Voss. And it echoes down there. Luckily, down there is not. The wind does not seem to be coming in, though the cold is certainly deep, almost like hard coming up out of the basement. Aurelia, make a wisdom check.
Okay. That is more likely to turn out in my favor. Although it does not. 14. Well, actually, quick question here. So this is this wisdom check about like observing something in the surroundings as we descend?
Yes. Yeah. Mhm.
So do I get advantage on that as
Yeah,
a
you could.
field archaeologist? Oh no, that's only on intelligence. Never mind.
Yeah. That's sorry. That's not tied
Never mind.
down.
It's not a wisdom.
So
So
yeah, you missed that. Everybody else can make a wisdom check at disadvantage.
So
This
being from
is not high stakes. This is about seeing a thing. So if you have something that you think would normally allow you to be precise, tied to your wisdom, you can add that.
well, I am
The House of Zobor, I think yes.
I succeeded.
I also succeeded.
Nice. How did you do? Eva, Voss, Brezim, as you descend in the thin light coming from off the snow and in the electric lights that have not been blown over and knocked onto the carpet, you notice something you thought was a sculpture is actually echoed in one that lands on the sill, the windowsill, in the wind. White birds, not moving with the wind, moving as if they were just floating along like the weather was normal. landing on the sill and coming in to the space. Brezim, with advantage, you can also make an intelligence check. Eva, you can do this too.
That's a 1 and a 10 on 17. So
I failed. I rolled a 20.
Eva, luckily this is again just a basic lore thing, so you don't have to worry about that. But Brezim, you know the white birds are associated with the legendary old goddess Winter White.
I think I keep that tidbit to myself for now. I don't want to startle anyone, and also I don't necessarily believe in Winter White. So
you're going to get down into the cold of the basement, and again, this cold is not windy, but it's almost like a physical force, and you can hear the wind howling in the door that refused to close once Casimir opened it. Just because the wind was hitting it so hard. But it's not windy down here, but it's more like you're just walking into like almost like an ethereal block of ice. The air is just that heavily cold. And I'd like to end before we go to a 5-minute break with one more saving throw.
I failed that very hard.
Is this versus magic or is it?
You can, and this is versus magic, so both you and Ava will treat your saving throws 2 higher. If you have that warm coat on, which is all of you, can treat your saving throws 2 higher.
I just
Still
failed.
failed.
13.
Finally passed one. 8.
I also failed.
I got 13, but that's my that's my attack, not saving. Sorry. I failed too.
13 would be right on it for you, I think, because you have 7 plus 4 plus 2 for wearing your coat.
Okay.
So that's actually really good for you. Who all failed?
I didn't.
I failed.
And Rezan? Is that also right?
Yeah, I failed.
The cold is deep and hard and ugly, and each of you take 5 points of damage.
Damn. Can I get any back by taking a nip from my flask?
Make a saving throw again, just for
All
that,
right.
or make a Constitution check, I should say. I'll give you.
They're the same for me, and I believe I fail either way. Yep. Sadly.
Yeah, it's so cold that as soon as that metal touches your tongue, it sort of burns.
Damn.
Like that cheap, I guess it'd be tinny, brassy metal that the flask is made out of.
Mhm.
Just gets so deeply cold, so quickly that it just, you can barely, and the alcohol inside it is almost syrupy.
All right. Well, I offer it to Voss, nonetheless. Made of sterner stuff than me.
I mean, I have disadvantage on con checks already.
Never mind. Then.
So that's going to be
Don't even try it.
Why do you have disadvantage on con checks, remind me?
from freezing last time.
Oh, yeah. I think that's over. Let's
Okay,
call
good.
that over. So you can make a straight up con check if you want to take this.
Yeah, I'm down to 4 hit points. I should probably do something about that.
Should I have made a con check when I took a nip from Rezan's flask earlier?
No, because you weren't taking any damage from cold.
Got it. It's
We were
specifically against that.
yeah, we were just using that to sort of balance out the ability to sort of bounce back from cold damage.
Got it.
I succeed.
I also try to take a hit from my place.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'll pass it to Rezon.
Rezon, how do you do?
Well, that was a success, thankfully.
Okay, if you succeeded, take 2 off that. And let's go to a 5-minute break with the sound of cult chanting ringing in everyone's ears. I will see you in 5.
Sorry. One question before we do this, or while other people are vanishing.
Mhm.
Could I have used one of my d6s on that saving throw against?
Yes, you could.
So
Yeah.
how do I use it after? I have to use it before I roll the dice, I assume. So it's too late for that. But
yeah, you could. Yeah, on any you do it afterwards. The whole idea is that it raises it because, or the idea as I read it, is that it gives you a chance to. I like people to use their resources somewhat strategically when they're luck style resources. So I'd hate for you to use one
and not do anything.
Yeah, and to have it not do anything. I want it to have at least a shot of doing something. So if it was in the perimeter of success, and you think that rolling it is a good gamble, you may do so.
Yeah, it was a lot of my hit points.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a try. All right, yeah. So that's I got a 6, whatever this is. I assume that means I add 6 to my stat or subtract 6.
Yeah, you add 6 to your stat. So
okay, great.
Either it works the same way either way.
Okay,
but
in that case, I do not take that damage, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna take my bio break too. We'll be right back.
All right.
Oh man, I'm tired.
So one fun Whitehack rule that I had completely forgotten about is
Mm-hmm.
that anyway, once per battle, you can just decide to try to make a Constitution roll to try to reduce damage by a d6. However, if you fail, you are knocked out.
Got it. So it's like a last ditch move.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind.
So Alrighty. Bethany and Asher, you back? And just wait a minute, Asher. Asher, let us know when you're back as soon as you can. Just a minute more. Okay, while we wait for Asher, I think I'm going to brief you guys on kind of what you're seeing down in the bottom. As you kind of move down, I believe we talked about Casimir in front and Vas in the rear, correct?
Mhm.
As you get into the basement, you can, what are you doing for light down here?
We have our flashlights.
That's right. Your electric torches. With it, it's not terribly hard to find where they actually did dig out the wall of the basement and found some sort of makeshift tunnels. What's your general approach for following these? Stealthy, quickly?
Can I mean, actually, let's answer that question first, and I'll ask my question. But I suspect relatively quickly. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we want to get this, like, get as far as we can while that storm is still causing chaos upstairs.
Okay.
Plus, it's so cold that we don't want to sit around.
That too, yeah. Like, the faster we move, the warmer we'll stay.
So you're going for overwhelming them quickly rather than trying to sneak up on them slowly.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And just like as we're sort of moving through the tunnel, I'm kind of like taking a look around, and I want to see if I can identify. I mean, if there's like anything that stands out to me as, like that will tell us the nature of what's happening here.
Okay. Just Asher, just to catch you up, or Eva, they've sort of used their flashlights to find the entrance to the tunnels from the basement, where they had dug them out. They're rocky, but they were clearly used as tunnels at some point. They're existing sort of cave tunnels. And everybody's moving pretty quickly. Field archaeologists would normally give you advantage, but everybody moving quickly will sort of cancel that out. There, Aurelia.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you?
So I'm rolling intelligence here.
Yeah, just straight up.
Straight up intelligence. That is a 5. Finally, some successful rolls.
I think about the time you start to see lanterns sort of scattered around. Kerosene style lanterns, and they're not up. The fire in them is not up very high, just enough to sort of create enough of a pathway for whoever. You're realizing that this was at some point used for, and you're seeing tools hither, scattered around all of you. Aurelia, you realize this was some sort of ritual space, because the caverns are natural, but the flooring of the caverns has been deliberately embedded with pieces of rock to create sort of a floor. This is not a dirt floor you're running on. And that these have been widened and smoothed out in ways that caves would not be.
Like recently, or
within history?
Like way back when?
Yeah. It's you're guessing probably not recently. This is not something that Silva and Victor could have done themselves.
Mm-hmm.
This was a project at some point. And Vreli has been here almost a century, so it's probably not a recent project.
Mm-hmm. But it's definitely like baronial. It's not pre-baronial. It's not.
Oh no, this is pre-baronial.
Got it. Okay.
Wild guess off the top of your head, pre-baronial, because. All of you start to hear the sound of speech and chanting getting louder. And there seems to be some sort of spoken words followed by an intonation, followed by more spoken words. Rezon and Eva, you recognize the rough part of them as a prayer. And it's a lot like the prayer that Electra said right before she tried to stab Casimir. May the blood of our own enemies protect us in the battle and trials that are to come.
Rasan, I don't suppose you can do that thing you did in the restaurant again.
I can, but I'd like to keep that for last resorts. But it sounds like those resorts might be coming up soon.
I guess we'll keep going for now then.
And you were going quickly. So I'm just going to make a... You are going quickly, you run. But you have low light. So I think you notice them about the same time they notice you. Even though your lights have been running towards them. The couple of people they'd put on lookout turned around for some reason. So you see those guys turn around for some reason, is the first thing you see. And then your flashlight beams catch everything else, and the light from the source catch everything else. And you see Victor lying on an altar with Silva hands raised over him, one of them holding a knife, and 4 people standing around. And you come up on them quickly, but they turn almost as quickly. And there's a second of just shock as you realize there are 7 total people here to your 5, and that Victor is on the altar, and they're just as surprised. But as you collect your wits quickly, there's 2 on either side of you that you sort of surge through. 4 near the altar with Silva. And then you've got somebody on the altar who's looking about to be stabbed and vaguely unconscious or drugged. Let's have you each roll a d6 for initiative. I won't do side initiative this time. And you can, as any combat that I run, you can run your own dice if you prefer to run your own dice. And Vas, you can add, let me check your scores again real quick. Vas, just for fun, you can add 2 to your roll. Just because I'm super wonderful and nice, and you're very strong.
Cool, it's a 5.
The number you want to equal or beat is well, tell me what you get, and you roll that d6, and we'll start with Casimir. Okay, everybody's sort of putting in the chat. All right. But that's not the number anyone wanted to see.
Is it possible to use my power in this particular?
Yes. When we call 4 or 5. But yeah, your power can come into play as soon as it's up to you. However, you will notice that you've got one sort of central person, but unlike before, where you can kind of draw your power in to just take down your brother, these people look a little more organized and capable. So if you take down one of them with that ability, you're there may still be other ones left. Does that make sense, Dylan? Okay. So I think what we're going to do is I am going to pull out 5d20s. And we will start by missing Casimir. Sorry, I lost my window. We're going to hit dang it, losing windows. We're going to hit Aurelia. We'll hit Vas. Even with that armor, we're hitting Brezim. I already said we hit Vas, correct?
Yeah.
Let me make sure I counted this correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4. How do I end up with 6? of these. I am not sure. But one of them was a critical miss. So we will critically miss Eva. I'm not sure I ended up with 6 dice, but because I accidentally grabbed one of Eva's. So okay, so we will starting with all of you who got hit. Will get barely winded and scraped by 1-2 points of damage. I was telling Jesse and Sam that I'd forgotten about the Whitehack rule, that if any hit is a critical hit and you would prefer to try to reduce it, you can make a Constitution roll once per fight to try to ignore some or all of the damage you take from a hit.
It's only on a crit?
No. It's you just declare you're doing it. You make a Constitution check, and you can take a D6 off the. You can take a D6 off the damage.
Debating whether I would like to do that reduces me to 2 right now.
Right.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna take that.
Okay. Make a Constitution check. I will tell you the consequences if you miss the Constitution before you roll, or before you tell me that you've rolled. The consequences for missing the Constitution check are that you're knocked out for 2 rounds as you kind of get stunned.
Yes, I mean I'm quite likely to get knocked out during this fight somehow. This seems like as good a way to do it as any.
A less uncontrolled way.
Yes.
All right, make that Constitution check.
And I failed. It's a very hard roll for me to fail too. I had 75% chance of passing that.
Aurelia, you go out. You're going to be out for 2 rounds as you sort of get stunned.
And I still take the 2 damage, right?
Yeah. You still take the 2 damage. As you go down, your ear's ringing. I think it probably just scraped your ear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I kind of imagine what happens is that like I was like stealing myself for like a much worse hit than I got. And that was and like the blade only scrapes my ear, but like I kind of like stiffened, and so the fist hit me in the head and I got knocked down. That's my sort of yeah, that's what I think happened.
Do I get an advantage from the critical miss?
You do not. You do not. Unfortunately, that just means it's always a miss. And that last one shot somebody. One more gun went off. And Rezan, as the firefight continues, you're going to take 1 more point of damage.
So you said something about it ignoring my armor.
Oh, that's right. So your armor just means that they have to roll that a 1 or a 2 will not be a success. But since this was magic, let's have it soak up that 1, and you'll just take 1 point of damage between the 2 shots. You still have 2. So 2 armor generally means that they have to roll over what your armor was, as well as under their attack value. But since this is a piece of magic warding, let's soak up 1 of those points of damage in this firefight. And I keep. Okay, I was in the wrong room. Let's close that room. And Silva, slashes Victor with the dagger. As she continues to say something, she has a broad slash kind of across his chest. And we go to a tie for Daryl and as Rezan and Voss both act at the same time. It doesn't really matter which of you go first, but going in the order I've done, Daryl, you are first as Rezan.
Well, this is the point where I pull out that little flashbang and I pop it open and I summon my elemental spirit, Sabani.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use my once per session good fortune in a major way to rain down holy hell on Silva. She's got that knife, so I'm just going to have Zabani immediately shock her into unconsciousness and drop her right off the bat.
I'm going to give her a quick saving throw just to see how she does. She fails it miserably, knocking her back behind the altar from where you are. But Zabani is now standing over the altar. You thought you heard the knife clatter, but there's a lot going on and your ears are a bit ringing. Rezan. Voss, what are you doing?
Since I'm last in the line, there's two people standing kind of in the entrance.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna deck one and try to just slam his head against the wall.
Oh yeah, the cold clock.
Mm-hmm. And I have this thing that if he falls, I get to punch the other one.
Yeah. Why don't you do that?
Uh, 17.
One sec. 17 is critical, right?
Yeah, it is.
Why don't you roll that damage twice?
Okay.
Add them together. And this treated as a D6.
Okay.
The nice thing about Whitehack, everything sort of comes down to a D6. And you're just using your pistol as a club type thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if I roll the other D6 here. Sometime. That's only 3.
Total?
Yeah.
Okay. That's enough to drop him because he was the one who went tumbling down the stairs on his own.
Right. Cool. Well, in that case, is the other one close enough to count as adjacent?
Yep.
All right. Cool. I will do the same to him.
Okay.
13.
13. That's a hit, right?
Yep.
D6.
6.
He goes down. We'll find out kind of what happens to the two of them that you clocked out.
At least they won't be coming up from behind us.
Eva, there's a man on the altar. There's a woman who was just knocked behind the altar. And you just saw Voss knock out 2 people with the butt of his gun. You and Cosmere are up next, and you can go in either order, but if either of you know something you want to do right away.
Yes, I'm interested in saving this person, but I don't want to go straight for it, so I think I'm staying in the shadows, going out around the edge of the room towards this altar.
So sorry, I got distracted by a message for a sec. 'Cause I'm a terrible person. What was the impact of
You're
what was the impact of the Rezan's spirit?
Rezan's spirit seems to have knocked out Silva, or at least
Right.
knocked her away. You can't see her from where you are. She's kind of behind the altar.
What light source do they have?
They have a few lanterns and your torches. And by torches, I mean flashlights.
How many lanterns?
I think let's just say they have 2 on either end of the altar and 1 sort of in the hallway.
Okay, so what I would like to do is, so we're in this like horrible open firefight. Honestly, I think I want to find some cover.
Okay.
And maybe by like shooting out a lantern and creating some darkness where I can go and get in like a fist fight with someone, which seems a little safer.
There are some large urns or things that look sort of like columbariums or urns or something decorative around this space.
All right, I want to go get it. Like these urns look like they could take a bullet.
Possibly. I mean, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to rough up what they're made of. They're definitely either clay or a very sort of thick, heavy clay-like substance.
All right, I'm just gonna get behind it. Take cover behind an urn and take a shot at someone.
Okay. Who are you shooting at?
So Silva's down, and they're just like kind of 6 interchangeable wolf bros.
Yeah.
Are any of them doing anything more threatening than the others?
Yeah, they seem pretty equally threatening.
Then what I'm actually going to do... Oh, and then they've all got their guns drawn, and they're pointing at this chaotic fire. Then I'm just going to shoot one at random.
Okay.
So that's a dex check? No, it's an attack check, right?
Yep. You're against your attack value?
That's a success. 5.
Nice. Roll your damage.
I don't know how much damage.
Or sorry, 4 wolf bros. Voss took 2 down.
Oh, nice. Beast mode.
Thanks. 0.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm going to shoot one with a revolver. Particularly if one is taking advantage of the fact that Voss is now getting close to aim at Voss. I'm going to shoot that one.
Okay.
So how much damage does my revolver do?
D6 plus 1 with the revolver.
That would be 3.
You bring one up short, who sort of clip his arm. You see blood sort of come out the side of his leather jacket. And he starts to bring the revolver around to you. Eva, you were trying to pull Victor off the altar, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you make a strength check? The stakes here that's potentially complicating for you if things do not go well. You may get sort of stuck there, unable to sort of get him to move, with a heavy person in your arms, that you won't even be able, even if you wanted to drop him, you wouldn't be able to drop him in time if things don't go well. So make a strength check.
I succeeded.
What'd you get?
A 9.
And your strength is what?
10.
10? Awesome. That's pretty close. So you've got him. Where do you want to pull him back into the hallway? What do you want to do? Are you moving back towards the hallway? You're moving back to some place where you have cover?
Yeah, I think I'm retreating back where they can't get him as easily, right? I don't want him to get captured again.
So you've got him sort of cradled in your arms, moving towards the hallway. And then that's everybody. We will re-roll Dex, but first, everybody make a saving throw.
Including unconscious me.
Including unconscious you.
Is it against magic?
Let's call it against magic for you and Eva's sake.
Is it cold here too?
Yes, it is cold here. So also everybody adds a +2 to their saving throw value.
All right, I succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
So +2 and +4 brings it up to 13, and I Rolled a 13.
Nice. Okay.
Barely success.
I also succeeded.
I did not succeed.
Did anybody else not succeed besides Casimir? Casimir, you take 3 damage as the cold continues to sink into your bones. Aurelia, you're just down for one more round, and we roll one more time for initiative. You don't need to roll there, Aurelia, but and then Casimir, how did you do on that initiative check? Okay. All right. Vosh, you're first.
I'm still in this like hallway. I've just knocked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna get Amelia to safety because she looks pretty bad, and she's also like just laying here
Right.
in the open where anybody. Yeah.
Also, Eva is running by you with a man's body.
Yeah, I think maybe running is the right choice here.
Okay.
I take Aurelia with me though.
It's all right. Make a strength check just to make sure that you can move and grab Aurelia sort of all at once.
10.
10?
Yep.
All right. You got it. You got Aurelia. You are hustling down the hallway a little past. You had a little bit of a head start, so you're a little bit beyond as far as being closer to the gate with the door, but the tunnel entrance. You've got Aurelia. Eva has Victor.
Yeah, I think I just like turn around and yell like, let's go. We've got him. Let's leave. We got what we came for.
And one thing I forgot to do. Casimir, the one you shot sort of buckles. And you see the ice sort of form over where he was bleeding. You see his wound sort of freeze as he grabs it and just sort of collapses to the ground. The other 3 seem to be okay. As one goes surging to try to find the knife. And Rezan, what are you up to? What are you planning to do?
So I guess it seems like half of our party has fled. I think we're still outnumbered, and I don't technically know like the statistical feasibility of like how successful a victory would be in this game. So is it smarter to run or like?
It's I think you had an objective to rescue Victor. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, possibly getting everybody out alive.
Is Eva carrying Victor?
Eva is carrying Victor.
Okay, and then I think that like I want to like flank Casimir and try to get him out.
As in, like, sort of get up on the other side of him?
Yeah, well, be there to be his backup, like with my gun and my elemental demon spirit.
Okay. Are you going to tell your elemental demon spirit to do something?
Yeah, I want it. I order it to like clear a path for us to flee.
Okay. All right. So this is all going to happen at the same time as they're acting. Why don't you roll for your elemental spirit? Just roll a d20 and tell me what you get. The target number that would be wonderful for you is an 11.
Well, it's an 8, so.
Fantastic. Both their guns miss as you sort of take cover and move towards, try to go low and move towards Casimir, correct?
Yeah, I want to get over to him. And
okay. Who are you telling your elemental spirit to attack?
So we're how many?
There's one diving for the knife, and then 2 are shooting.
The ones with guns are probably a higher priority.
All right. 1 second. It downs one of them. And let's see how that other responds. The other throws down his gun and heads to the back of the cave as if to hide. And Rezan, you see sitting on the altar a white bird. Casimir, you were the last one here. Still, one of them is rooting around for a knife. One is running to the back of the cave to hide. What are you doing? And you can, from where you are now, you can see Silva's body, or what looks like Silva's unconscious form. Body sounds ominous.
All right, so there's one guy left who's actually doing something, and he's trying to find a knife, but he's not active. How is Victor doing?
He's out. Victor is gone.
He's unconscious.
Eva grabbed him and ran.
All right, I'll shoot the guy who's trying to get a knife. Actually, no, I'm gonna wrestle him because I'm much better at that. Because I get my National Guard lets me re-roll that, right? Or
You're gonna get advantage. Yeah.
Advantage. All right. I'm gonna go grab him.
Okay.
And I succeed on both.
God damn it. Yeah. What are you gonna do with him?
I'm gonna toss him in an urn. If that's fictionally plausible, I don't know.
You toss him at the urn as if you're trying to do that, and it turns the urn over. And the skeleton that sort of rolls out of this urn-like thing, it's not even a skeleton, it's the husk of a corpse.
Yeesh.
Wearing regalia that looks both, this is very familiar to you, Casimir. It's military regalia, but it's for someone who is both an officer and an aristocrat. And it's just lying there.
I guess this is where the missing family members of the barons ended up. Yeah, I'm interested in this revelation, but what's happening with the guy who I'm holding? Can I like knock him out or something, or otherwise?
Sure, you can knock him out.
Are we now kind of out of combat?
Are you running or are you staying? Because if you're not running, there's going to be one more saving throw.
Okay. I don't think I'm running because I at least need to get Victor.
Victor is out. Victor is out.
No,
All right, but we gotta like pick
Eva.
him up.
No,
No,
carry
down here.
Eva's carried him out.
Oh, he's carried him out.
Yeah.
Is there anything else interesting around here?
I mean, there's lots of other urns.
Yeah. I'm gonna make one more saving throw. I'm curious. I'm sure Aurelia wants to knock over some urns with me, right? Like an
Aurelia's
archaeologist.
gone.
Aurelia's also
Aurelia's also gone.
Aurelia is also gone.
Yes, but Aurelia is going to be very, very upset if she wakes up and finds that no one took
Nobody has bothered them.
anything from this place.
Oh, Raison.
All right, I'm gonna take the saving throw and do some looting, like a good Dungeons and Dragons character.
All right. Rezan, what are you doing? He's
Raison's gonna grab the knife and run. And I'm as I'm fleeing, I pull Zabani back into my flask, and I turn around and yell at me. It's ponder these things another time. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Make
So
that one more saving throw.
how much damage do I take from the saving throw?
A D6. Do you want to roll that D6
Yeah,
yourself?
I'll roll that d6. Actually, no. I'm gonna use my other die. I'm gonna try rolling my. Okay, so I actually passed that with my.
Okay.
my
All right. So do you just want to grab what's in one urn and sort of pull it out?
Yeah. Let's see what's in there.
All right. So do we want to get you to a safe space before you start looking at things, or?
Well, I'm gonna take unconscious Silva with me. Is the other thing.
Oh, nice.
I'm not letting her get away.
Yeah. What was in that urn was disturbing. It was you may not have wanted to look too closely, but it was definitely a young person dressed as if for a ceremonial event or a ball or something like that.
Is there just a little thing that I can grab just that would prove that we really did see something like this down here?
You can grab the dagger that was in the corpse with the military.
Is there anything special about it, or is it just a dagger?
It is a dagger that was left in the body. It seems to have an emblem on it. It's not one you immediately recognize. Yeah, an emblem on the hilt, I should say.
Yeah. All right. I'll grab the dagger, and then I'll also take the string of medals or something.
Oh yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
And
this should rip pretty quickly.
Okay. Then I'll tote Silva out of there as fast as I can. Some mysteries must wait till later.
You come all back up through the house. Back through the cave. Aurelia's storm has died down. Aurelia, you're waking up. Victor seems to still be very, very groggy. Silva is awake but refusing to say anything or talk to anyone. And as you get back outside, there is at least 1.5 feet of snow on the ground. As far as you can see, there were a few inches when you went in. And around the house are several exquisitely beautiful white birds.
I think that Casimir will turn to Aurelia and say, "Are these some kind of sign?"
So I know that Rezan already knows what they are, but now that I see them, I didn't notice them before downstairs, but now that I see them, do I know what they're likely to be?
Raison would volunteer that, and not, hearing you specifically ask about them.
What do you say, Razan?
So I say, they are Winter White's flock. They are omens of her presence.
We have birds are also tend to be messengers of deities.
I hope she's happy.
And then one of the birds just says, no. She is profoundly unhappy.
From what I gather, if she's awake, she's probably unhappy.
I'm sorry, did anyone else just hear this bird speak?
Yes, all of you heard the bird speak.
Good. Talking birds. That's
We have been more than fair. And the offense is grievous. The deal was broken. Everyone under the Greencorner protection is now subject to my whims.
What do you want?
We wanted the covenant to remain. In effect, we wanted the continuing sacrifices that we were promised.
But why? What do you get?
We get to be acknowledged as the gods that we are.
And what do you want now?
To punish.
Well, we don't serve this green corner.
You are here under his law, under his protection, are you not? Are you bandits? Did you come in illegally? Did you promise to kill him?
after we just did. I'm not sure bandits is wrong.
You certainly helped enforce his laws.
We just want to leave peacefully.
Oh. Lots of people are going to want to leave very peacefully. If you can convince the Baron to pay the price, I might go easy. But it must be him paying it.
There's nothing else that you would accept.
A deal was made, a deal was broken.
I can't believe I'm arguing with a dove.
I can't believe I'm arguing with another human. What would you propose?
How about a grand temple? We're good at building those.
Tell us more of you, and we can spread your teachings.
I don't have teachings.
Everything that this dove says, like Aurelia gets more and more deflated.
I have no teachings. There's no gospel of Winter White. There's no good news. There's no prophecies. There's no laws. You do what I say or you get punished.
You're not very interesting, are you?
She's got a point.
Now I wish I'd kept divination, by the way.
Oh yeah, that would have been.
When you see the Baron, tell him he had a chance. He had 100 messengers, all from me. And tell him he's the one he should have sacrificed will be the very last one to go.
Here's a thought. Tell me if this is not absurd, Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Winter White is the cold and the storm. Is the cold at the very least. I'm not. Is she? He? They? What are their?
She.
She is she. Is she? I'm wondering if I can use Tempest to somehow or another like tap into her storminess, into her heart, her spirit, the thing that she has, like the power she's exerting over this moment.
Mm-hmm. To do what?
Well, that's the question, right? Like what exactly we want to like is it? I think the idea of like having her conform to my will is a little absurd given what she is. But maybe to lull her to sleep for a short time. Oh, but Voss has a completely insane idea. Let's hear that.
It's more insane than that or not. It's more direct and simple. Well, like the action is, but I have no idea what the result would be. Yeah. Can I just shoot the bird?
Please.
Because I have this ability.
You may shoot the bird. What ability you want to use?
A strong character may also hold a power acquired from a slain creature, like a special attack or a substance extracted from a monster body, or even a supernatural ability transferred through the act of killing. The character must deliver the killing blow, and the power must relate to the monster keyword. The power can be exchanged as new creatures are killed and is usable through a per situation agreement between the player and referee a number of times equal to the character's level.
You may shoot. I will say, if anyone else has something they want to try to do to the bird that's not killing it, we'll have you roll initiative against Voss.
I gotta say, I actually totally love the idea of the bird being like, "Tell the bear, blah," when you meet him, blah 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 blah, and then Voss like shoots it.
Okay. So that's against dexterity?
No, you're just going to roll your attack value.
Oh, okay. Cool. What is my attack value?
And what is your dexterity? It's 10?
Yeah.
Or just your attack value.
Okay. 7.
Just for fun, roll the damage.
6.
Yeah, the bird. And you're holding Silva, correct? Kind of restraining her, correct, Cosmere?
Oh, I forgot we had Silva.
I thought she was unconscious.
She was waking up.
Yeah, then I'm restraining her.
Yeah, okay. The bird explodes. The rest of the birds that were surrounding just sort of take off into the sky. And sort of disappear into the night. And the blood that comes out of the bird is not red, but icy, icy blue.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how I go about actually doing this.
It's you flavor that. You
you can. I think I just
pick up a corpse and get its hand, your blood in its hand,
I take my gloves off and like just put my hands in the blood.
Have I ever seen you do this before?
No, I don't think so. I think this is a maybe I don't know. But
it can, frequently it's a fairly mundane thing. Like if you killed a big beast, you might take its tooth or its a paw or something.
yeah, I usually don't do this to messengers of gods.
But I've seen you take trophies before.
Yeah, probably. I don't know that I've ever explained. I don't know that I understand what it was I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Casimir says anything. He just like, just
Rizan, the birds are flying off, and all of you almost begin to hear, like, instead of the flapping of wings, like in the flapping of wings, you begin to hear something that sounds like laughter sort of underneath it. Eva, Rizan, what do you do, and where is your group? What do you do? And then I want to know where your group is headed.
Raison is having second thoughts about whether she's gonna go back to Paydinma and bother with her mission, or whether she's gonna just hightail it back to the city and get out of here.
I left out a key, like the one who was supposed to be sacrificed, who is in Paydinma. She will be last.
Example.
yeah, I guess we should talk about this in character if we're gonna. Well,
we will cut with
yeah.
where are you guys headed to now?
Back to the hotel for brandy and sleep.
We're warm.
Yeah, I think we need to get back together.
Maybe Eva's home, if Eva has a home nearby, given that the hotel is rather public and we've left some trussed up hostages back there, and it might not be safe to go back if they've been discovered.
One of your places is a bungalow, so
Right.
that does not involve going through you can sort of hike around it. But you're headed back to the hotel?
I think that would make sense. If it's night and snowing, it's probably not the right time to make a break for it. We should at least wait till morning.
You definitely also have, it's not snowing or windy right this moment.
Oh, well.
I mean,
Okay.
but there is 1.5 feet of snow on the ground in the last hour.
And I'm very near dead, just for the record. I'm very beat up.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to the hotel. Casimir will probably suggest that we try to leave like tonight if we're gonna leave before the terrible vengeance. See if we can get out before the Winterwhite's vengeance starts in earnest. But I don't know, it's the end of the series, so who knows?
Anything else about where you're headed as we cut to the credit sequence?
I mean, I kind of want to get revenge.
Do we still have Sylvia with us?
You do have still Silva and one of her people with you. Are you taking them back to the hotel, or are you taking them to the police station?
Or are we dumping them in the snow?
Aurelia?
I mean, I wouldn't be averse to that.
No, I actually think I want to bring them back to the bungalow, is the truth. I think that they have so many things to teach me.
Add them to the pile of trusted people in the
There's
world.
just they know all about this, the wolf folk and there's just too much information there. I can't just leave that behind.
This woman desperately wants to murder me. I don't really want to let her out of my sight while we have her under our control.
I suggest we take them back to the police station. Lieutenant Ossett can arrange for Silva to be detained, and we can also formulate a plan there, if and not limited to a hasty escape.
That's fine with me.
So we will cut with you all headed into the police station as the wind starts to pick up again outside. And we will cut there. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.